Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to have a special video, a shorter video than usual on the channel, and a special one because this is, I think, the second or third one where I get to unbox or actually unseal an album, a record that is quite old, at least compared to me. The one today was released in 1982, or at least the pressing that I'm going to unseal was released in 1982. It's a compilation. It's not one of the fans' favorite compilations. There were many in the 70s and 80s that were kind of cash grabs. Some of them nice compilations, some of them maybe not so much. This one was an interesting one for me, and you will see it in a couple of minutes. But it's again not one that most fans really appreciate. I am preparing a video on those compilations in general that I'll show in the future, especially some of them which I have on Japanese vinyl. You can see a batch of them here. These are not all of them, but you can see a few of them here. Some Japanese, some will be Japanese pressing, some will not be Japanese pressings. So, for instance, we're going to look at a little bit at this Postmasters from Germany, which is a 1988 DMM pressing of Postmasters. But today, like I said, we're going to unseal one of these 70s, 80s compilations that were released for the Beatles, and I hope you enjoy this. So if you want to see what record I'm talking about, what's its state now after 43 years, how does it look and how does it sound, stick around. Okay, so the record that we have today to unseal is not one of the Beatles' most appreciated compilations. It's one of the ones that were released after the mid-70s and 80s that were more or less cash grabs. But it's part of the discography, the official discography, at least for vinyl and maybe other formats like cassette releases from that period. So, there's also a single that came out of it. So I think it's, it is part of the official canon, so to speak, at least up to the late 80s when the discography was sort of revamped. Some US things were brought in, some of the previous compilations were put out of the official canon, and then the release on CD shows us what is the official canon now, which is the UK albums, the Postmasters, and then some of the compilations like the Red and the Blue album, but also things that came afterwards, like Live at the BBC, the 2 albums, the Love album, the Yellow Submarine Songtrack, Let It Be Naked, the Anthology, and so on and so forth. But today we're gonna unseal this and see how it looks. This is a German pressing. It is from 1982, which means that at the moment of filming, it is 43 years old. It is older than me. So let's try to get this open. So as you see, the stretch wrap, the outer stretch wrap is still on. It does have some small dots. I think it's from the just like a sort of I don't know if it's a patterned plastic or it was just from how it was kept, but they seem to be there seems to be some dots which are kind of at a very equal length from each other, so they look like a kind of a pattern. But anyway, I see it has sort of a point here where it's the plastic is stuck together. Anyway, see, it's all pretty tight. There are a couple of marks here where the plastic has ripped a bit, but not too much. Okay, let's try and see if I can unseal this. And I'll need to be careful. This doesn't look like okay, it's going pretty smoothly, thankfully. Oh. Okay, let's see what we have inside. Well, first, and this is, I hope this will not be too scuffed and too scratched, but this is the inner sleeve You can clearly see it. Different pictures from movies or albums. Black on the backside with Beatles real music. Okay, it looks sort of decent. The color is not off or anything. It does have already some ring wear. You can see it here, right? And yeah, see, the sleeve has been cut a little bit by the record inside. Let's see how the record looks actually. Try to unstick this a little bit. Okay. This is the green white Odeon label. This is side 2. Now, if I look at it, I see some dust and debris, which is fairly normal with records that were put in paper sleeves, and this is a 42-year-old record that sat in there for 43 years, sorry. There are some scuffs, and I mean, they're not too visible. Side 1 as well, the label. So yeah, there are some scuffs. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see them. I'll try to potentially show them to you a little bit. Not sure if that's going to be visible. If not, I'll make some pictures and put them in post. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. Of course, it's being sealed, you would expect it to look flawless, but that's not the case. I mean, it's a record that sat around for 40 years. You know, it probably was carried from place to place, you know, moved, stored, God knows where. So it doesn't look too bad. It has, like I said, it has some scuffs, and there's some marks that are very difficult to describe, because they kind of look very similar. They look like they are the same type of mark, so I'm guessing this was put under some pressure. I'm going to try to make some pictures if that's needed, but here it is, the record. We're obviously going to put this into a different sleeve that will need to be cleaned. I will clean it up, but I will also try it on the turntable today before I do a clean. So I'll try to do just a dust off to just see how it sounds without being cleaned, and then I will do a spin clean for it and for other records that are coming. And then in a future video, in the one that I will do about the other compilations as well, and the Japanese versions of some of those compilations, I will see if I can get it cleaned by then, so that I can talk more about how it sounds when it's cleaned. Now, the other thing in here is the Beatles Souvenir Program leaflet. Let's say it's a booklet, but it's just, I mean, I could say it's a booklet, sort of. It has a few pages. Yeah. Overall, this looks... okay. So this kind of explains some of the scuffs that the record maybe has, because this has definitely been pressed and kind of moved around, and you see already we have some rips here, a tear, and you know, this corner is totally bent. There's a tear here at the top as well, and that's too bad. So on the back here we have some of the posters for the movies from which these tracks are compiled on this compilation. Pictures from Let It Be. Well, actually, let's take it from the start. We had A Hard Day's Night. We have some words about help and pictures. Magical Mystery Tour. Yellow Submarine. And Let It Be. It's nice. It's a nice inclusion, I guess. I always love this poster. There are people who don't, but I love that, like, this mixture of Beatles from different eras in a cinema, looking at posters of their own movies. You know, it's for me it was a nice touch, the way that it was built. Before we close, let's take a look at the cover. So as you see now, you'll probably see it, because the record was taken out and the record was kind of keeping everything straight. Now the wrap is too tight for the cover and it bends it, so this is going to be one of the cases where this stretch wrap is going to go away, because I don't want it damaging the cover more than it already has. I just wanted to show you something else as well, which is also this corner is slightly bent, but you know, not a big deal. Now you will see here that the cut that was, you know, the record cut through the inner sleeve, it also did it through the outer sleeve. But I mean, it's still there. It's not completely cut over, but still. Otherwise, the cover looks kind of nice. It's semi-glossy, beautiful colors. Here we have the track listing. So we have A Hard Day's Night, I Should Have Known Better, Can Buy Me Love, and I Love Her from Hard Day's Night. We have Help, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, and Ticket to Ride from Help. We have Magical Mystery Tour, and I'm the Walrus from the Magical Mystery Tour. We have Yellow Submarine, and All You Need Is Love from Yellow Submarine, and Let It Be, Get Back, and The Long and Winding Road from Let It Be. We have the liner notes, the code of the release, which you can possibly see here, 1C06407611. Okay, EMI Electrola in Germany, printed by 4P Nikolaus in Köln. And we have some of the sort of credits. And there we go, with capital at top of the marquee. The Beatles, Real Music, German pressing from 1982. This a little bit to get it, because I mean, with this turntable, obviously I cannot have it spin on its own. The lid needs to be closed, but okay, I mean, it should be clean, and it will be clean way better than this, but let's at least see how it sounds. Quite silent. Oh, I'm gonna remove the sound just a little bit, because otherwise we'll get a content match. I mean, it's sounding clean. It sounded clean in the run-in. Quite punchy. Okay, let's try another track. So we have And I Love Her, which I think should sound cleaner. Pretty clean between the tracks. Nice. Okay. I give her all my love. Well, that sounds nice. Let's try the second side as well. This is the end of All You Need Is Love. You can hear quite clean. Let It Be will come in. So I have to say the sound is pretty good. Seems like it's a good mastering, good pressing, and it is clean. Like, despite some of the scuffs and the fact that I removed quite a little dust of and debris from it, sounds really nice. So that's good. Well, that was about it for today. I've already repackaged this in a polyethylene outer sleeve. Hopefully it will protect it as good as possible, better than its original wrap did. And the record itself, I have put in this mobile fidelity inner sleeve as well, trying to keep it as protected as possible. You heard it sounds pretty good. Not only the sound itself, like the mastering of the record, which seems to be good, but also in terms of surface noise, I was surprised given that it was so old. It sat in that paper inner sleeve for so many years, 43 years. It was, had some scuffs on it and some debris and dust, which I got out as best as I could, but it's not a spin clean, it's not a wet clean, so then I was surprised that it sounded as good as it did, given all of those facts. But anyway, I want to thank you again for joining me. Please do share, subscribe. There's the hype function now, which you can use. Like and comment on the video. I'm curious to see if you still have sealed records in your collection that you are keeping sealed or that you intend to unseal in the near future. Records, of course, from like the 80s and 70s. I am on the route to getting a couple of more Beatles records to round up my collection, and then I think I'm going to take a break from it for a little while, aside from the completely new things that are coming out, like Anthology 4 and such. And there is a chance that some of those as well might be sealed, so if I manage to get one also that is sealed, I of course will do an unsealing for you on the channel. But do you have any records like these? Are you keeping them for a special occasion? Please let me know in the comments. I'm going to continue working on the video for the other compilations, mostly from 70s and 80s, and many of them Japanese pressings that I have, to maybe come to the conclusion of whether indeed, as opposed to the Beatles in mono collection from Japan from the 80s and from the 82 and 86, if these other Japanese pressings are indeed thin and bright and, as most people say they are. But otherwise, this is about it for today. Thank you very much for joining, and I hope I'll see you next time.